Hello, my friends, family, and colleagues. This is going to be a little compilation video based on certain um, problems, health issues that uh, I see in many people, and I'm being contacted uh, by quite a few individuals that live north, specifically in Northern Europe. I'm talking about Holland, Norway, Sweden, and people in this area. Uh, lately, I'm talking less more than 20 years, their high increase is in a problem of cognitive problems in general, being it depression, being it uh, problems like Parkinson's and then Alzheimer's disease, problem in focusing, and on top of this, the standard is uh, lack of energy uh, and exhaustion, general exhaustion, and all these people have been supported by the medical industry, and most of them they were put on uh, mood controlling drugs. They've been drugged basically, and that's one issue. And the other one issue, the metabolism, the lack of energy. They'll be being diagnosed with thyroid problems, so they're all on supplements, thyroid supplements. So those are the two major medications being used in that part of the world. And needless to say, digestive problems and appearance of allergies and itchy skin and problematic skin. So how come that last 20 years this type of health issues are skyrocketing, while in the past, in the 80s and before 80s, this was not an issue? People have been diagnosed now with low vitamin D, among the rest. So whenever we research vitamin D, we go into talking about calcium, the calcium management in the body, and right away we go to osteopenia. It means something with sedimentation of our bones. Now, this, okay, vitamin D has impact there, but we know very well that low vitamin D is going to affect the cognitive issues of the brain. And many people are supplementing vitamin D, and not necessarily vitamin D3, which is the animal-based vitamin D, but they're supplementing with vitamin D2, which is the plant-based vitamin. And it seems no one pays attention to this, or very few do. If anyone would pay attention, vitamin D2 would not be supplemented at all. Now, why not? As I explained through my videos and my articles, that plant vitamins have a different frequency, which means different structure, than animal-based vitamins, especially when we talk about the fat-soluble vitamins. And those fat-soluble are based on fat, which means in animals they are based on cholesterol. Let's talk about human body. Vitamin D is vitamin D3, which we call cholecalciferol. Now, our body secretes and produces cholesterol, and under influence of the sunlight, it shifts it into vitamin D, hormone D, which then goes through two more phases of change in the body until finally it gets its active form. But what happens is that vitamin D production is pretty fast. Exposure of 20 minutes will give you a huge amount of vitamin exposure to sun of 20 minutes. But when sun is hot, which is above you, because again, the UV rays which do the stimulation are very short and they're easily blocked. They are blocked by clouds, they are blocked by glass, and they are blocked by skin. So the cholesterol mostly affected is the one that is secreted as a protection of the skin. And then when it's irradiated through sunlight, it becomes reabsorbed and then goes into modifications in liver and in kidneys until it finally reaches its active form. Now, you may ask, why not vitamin D2? What's wrong with the plants if they have vitamin D? Well, the plant does not use cholesterol. So the vitamin D is based on cyanide. And we used to call it cyanocalciferol. Now they call it ergocalciferol because they play with our minds. Okay, they're changing the names to suit their agenda. They want to poison us. Of course, cyanide is toxic for human body. So vitamin based on cyanide is going to poison you. So whenever you're taking vitamin D2 supplement, you're poisoning yourself with cyanide. Highly toxic for human body. I'm strongly against supplementation. Why? Because, as I mentioned, short exposure to sun will create a lot of vitamin D, which body will not use. It will use very small fraction of it. So what happens? The rest of it gets deposited in adipose tissue with the fat. So it is then always available. Being in sunlight or not having sunlight, you are going to be having enough vitamin D3 because you have a storage of it. So do animals. So what is happening up north? And I'm sure this is the same problem in Canada, but since I don't have many clients in Canada, and those that I have, well, we didn't really discuss this issue too much because their problem is not of this. Well, they also have a problem with the thyroid, so-called thyroid, because of the symptoms that they have. So they are diagnosed with it. And simple correction of diet and hydration, and no more problem because it's not a problem of thyroid, it is toxic problem. It's always the same, it's a wrong vibration. But many people up in Northern Europe are affected by this. And since there is quite a bit of following of Self-Heal Protocol in Norway and Holland, and some also in Sweden, so more people are from there contacting me and asking this question, and it's the same question always. We are supplementing vitamin D by having some cod liver oil, fish oil. Should we do this, or what is the deal, and what is about the thyroid supplementation? I have to do it because if I don't, I have symptoms. Well, you don't have symptoms from a low thyroid hormone. Even though it may be low, you have symptoms of toxicity, which is the reason why your hormone is lower than it should be. And same with vitamin D. Most likely it is this problem. But people up north, they don't have much exposure to sun because sun it's cold, and the sun is not something you see daily because a lot of clouds are there, a lot of gray sky. And they do not deposit a lot of vitamin D. But before they didn't have problem with this. Why not? Because before they all ate predominantly meat, a lot of fish and meat. But because of science promoting plant crap as a food, more and more are vegetarians and vegans, so they do not receive vitamin D through food. Before they receive plenty of it from the animals that ate from their fat, but now they don't have it. So yes, they will have to supplement by eating fish oil or krill oil that Dr. Joseph Mercola promotes as a better alternative. It's all here. It's all here. There's no better. Krill is not better than fish oil. It's just, this is a cake. What you promote, you have to sell. This is what you promote, and you create science around it. Now, it is very visible. The more nation turns to vegetables, the more problematic health issues arise. And we see it very clearly on India. India has the worst health issues. Almost everyone has diabetes and has thyroid problems, so-called thyroid problems, caused by toxicity of the food that they eat. Food, crap that they eat. It's not food, it's a crap. So they even ask globally for help to resolve this issue. Well, if you stick to the nonsense of science telling you that you receive your minerals by eating greenery, and your body needs glucose for brain to function, well, you're doomed. If you follow that science, you are doomed. Because all this is lie, it's not true. It's opposite to the lie, to the truth. And since last 20 years, more and more veganism is promoted through the world. here in jungle, people that come from Europe, they're only looking for vegan restaurants, and vegan restaurants are popping up like crazy. And so it's a incorrect diet. So no wonder that you are going to have problems with low vitamin D, and you're going to have problems with the health because your body is extremely toxic, is not nourished correctly, and on top of it, you have been directed not to avoid salt. So you cannot even replenish vitamins that your minerals that your body desperately needs. It needs minerals. So your health is gonna crumble. Now, several people ask me that what I'm talking about. Some of the stuff they cannot find anywhere else. Like it used to be plasma hydration, even the GCNF. It was not information readily available. Now they're asking to share the source of this information. Well, source of this information is within. It's not written. This is why I cannot point you to written material. Or if it is, I don't know about it because I don't do my research by trying to copy someone else. I'm completely isolated. I don't look at what other people are doing unless I'm asked a question about someone, and to answer it, I have to check what they're all about. So I look at one article, one video to get basic knowledge about it, and then I make my comment. And sometimes it may be not correct because I don't know enough about these people. I just don't follow anybody because everything would be to me distraction. I'm a scientist, and I cannot look at scientific work of others because it may push me on in a wrong direction. What I have noticed that almost all scientists are sticking to the science or scientific circles of same kind. So they are just like a parrots repeating each other's opinions. And this leads you nowhere. So I go within, I observe nature, I try to, whatever I hear, I don't reject. Even if it seems nonsensical, I don't reject it. I just absorb it. Like it becomes a pool of information that then my brain can go through to find solution. And this is how I created my science. Can I prove it's true? Basically, yes, through those who follow the protocol and they heal. Because I explain exactly what symptoms is caused by what and how we can help the body to resolve the situation. Body does the healing. Nothing else can do the healing. Definitely not plants. But we can use sometimes toxic remedy, which we call medicinal remedy, usually from plants, to stimulate the body, to target particular function, to suppress it or accelerate it. And one of the few that I need to occasionally use are diuretics, furosemide, Lasix, but also now with the help of Dr. Brian Artis. And why I know about him, because again, I was asked, so I checked, and I saw a video of him talking about vaccines and talking about jabs and talking about venom producing organelles, which I injected. So here I learned that nicotine patch. Now, nicotine, again, in my opinion, wrongly explained as something that our body accepts because we have so-called nicotine receptors. We don't have nicotine receptors. We use nicotinic acid. We have receptor for this. But plant nicotine vibrates differently, slightly differently. So receptors accept it, but then they don't know what to do with it. So it blocks receptors. And the body wants to get it out. While blocking, it doesn't allow cells to absorb certain things. And because it's a toxic frequency, the body tries to eliminate it and force it out. So it can be used as diuretic, very strong diuretic. And I've tried with several clients, and the reaction was pretty strong of eliminating the buildup of toxic acidic stuff in a tissue that caused water retention. So by using nicotine patch, I helped to remove some of this. So again, This is something I learned because of Dr. Alice. So I'm not against medication, but to use it when absolutely necessary for a short time. In this case, 3 days. And then you stop and give body a chance to cleanse all that stuff out, including the nicotine. And if necessary, then in a week or two, you can repeat it again. Same as with Lasix. You're not on Lasix for months or a year. You're on Lasix 3-4 days. And then stop, let the body cleanse, recuperate, and then if necessary, you repeat it. The process of self-healing, it's a relatively slow process, although slow if we have in consideration suppressive action of medicines. You put medicine, you suppress something, and you feel better in a day or 2 or 3. Well, healing process is way, way longer. But if it took you 30 or 40 years to get so sick that you have these symptoms, having to cleanse and heal for a year or 2, well, this is not such a long process. But you cannot expect things change dramatically as soon as you start hydrating and cleansing, because, as I have mentioned, cleansing is not like washing dishes. The only symptoms you are going to have are symptoms of toxic blood. Not very seldom is a symptom of toxic tissue or toxic cell. It's usually when those toxins are in the blood, which cause a particular set of symptoms. And then, if the body has enough plasma, or if the toxicity is strong enough, but still there has to be enough blood plasma, otherwise body will not part with it and you cannot detoxify. And whatever body cannot detoxify, take out from the blood and urinate or defecate or sweat out. Those are the places how you can get rid of the stuff. And you lose plasma. So if you cannot do this, if you are low on plasma, then body is programmed to accumulate these toxins either in a subcutaneous tissue, connective tissue, or causing cysts, eventually tumors. All these are to cleanse the blood. And when you start detox, then right away you start feeling better. Maybe not at the first moment, but 2 days later, you start feeling better. And then after 3 weeks, when blood is clean, your cellular membranes open up and your cells start active hydration through osmotic system, and they pollute your blood within a minute. And your symptoms come back and they explode. And many people have left self-healers protocol when this occurred. No matter that I prepared them for it, I talked about it, I said, I'm available. So when something happens, let me know and I'll explain it. I just lost another client that was fed up when I mentioned to him. He told me what his food was, and I mentioned to him, well, you cannot really have potato chips. And he was like, well, it was one little thing. I'm already 3 weeks on this, and da-da-da. And now things got even worse, and I have been through many things. Exactly the same thing was happening. So this is nothing. This is all baloney. I'm done with this. Well, if this is your attitude, I cannot help. But I explained exactly what is going to happen even before you start the protocol. And this is going to happen. There's no way it's not going to happen. It just depends how strong are going to be the symptoms when cellular cleansing starts, because that depends on a variety of things, including where the toxicity is deposited, how much of it is deposited, what is the state of your hydration on circulatory level, but also on your cellular level. Because if the lower hydration you have on a cellular level, the more acidic will be your cells. And nothing brings worse symptoms when acid starts seeping out of cells, because they go into the lymphatic system, but then lymph cannot push these acids in the blood because blood has to be maintained alkaline. So by programs, it is programmed that very slowly these acids can be released into the blood, not to make major shift in alkalinity. So from the tissue there, the detox of these acids becomes very slow. And as you're hydrating, you create more lymph, goes in there, becomes acidic, and cannot return in the bloodstream, and this is your water retention. Most patients with severe water retentions are elderly, heavily toxic people. They don't eat any salt. They barely drink any water. They are dehydrated. They have thick blood because they are dehydrated, and they have water retention. Of course, it will rise, it will increase if you start drinking plasma, because you are putting more liquid there that becomes toxic and cannot go out because of the toxicity, but it can be forced out if you provide enough plasma, a little bit more plasma, but you provide something that is toxic enough that simply overrides the program, because the toxicity of the blood becomes more problematic than the toxicity that would be coming in if some of the acidic liquid was released into the blood, because it will cleanse right away. And this we achieve through diuretic and also through nicotine patch. So we said we just have to look at things correctly. And I feel sorry always when somebody quits because they cannot take it, they are dissolution, whatever the reason is. I understand, because usually who comes on the protocol, they have usually tried everything already. So they are fed up. And then when they see after initial success, all of a sudden everything's starting going back like it used to in all the others, you just throw towel. So, okay, I'm done with this. But it is not the same. The self-healers protocol is unique. There is nothing out there like self-healers protocol. Nothing. And those who proceed, they bear the fruits. This is why I really applaud everyone who shares their experiences with the protocol, because this empowers those who are disillusioned to stick to the protocol just a little bit longer. There is no way that you're not going to heal. It's just a question how long it will take. And we are looking always for ways to help to speed up certain aspects of the detox. This is why I offer guidance, and there are other people that offer guidance in different languages. We have it on my site. You can check if you need guidance in German or in French, so far Italian, so far these are the languages. There are people that can help you. And in English and Croatian, I can do that. Spanish, I can do Spanish too. Cannot write it well because I never write in Spanish. I'm not perfectly fluent in Spanish, but as far as guidance and medical field, I can handle that in Spanish. Okay, my friends, so keep in mind that self-healing process is a slow process because of the programs that it has to obey, and there's no quick solution. But the body will dissolve just about every situation in time. And the time is not forever. Symptoms occur right away, and actually symptoms of detox can become very, very uncomfortable and strong. But after that, healing occurs. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I hope that you are going to help lead others and you yourself. You cannot help anyone until first you help yourself. You have to experience the protocol so you understand it correctly and you can help others. God bless you. Love you all. Namaste.